Before opening the floor, I will give the floor to my last intervenant, who is the representative of Morocco, the 4C, the Center for Climate Change of Morocco, Mr. Boussaid.
Thank you. Thank you, Minister.
I just try to figure out how to see the presentation in the screen. Okay. So my presentation is entitled Climate Change, South-South, South-North Triangular Networks of Centers of Excellence and Think Tanks. So here I will try to tackle the issue of triangular and South-South cooperation and how we can use these networks of Centers of Excellences in this sense. As you know, climate change is an emerging domain for the South-South cooperation. The post-2015 agenda for sustainable development and also after the Paris Agreement, it is evident, and also having listened to the previous presentations, we understand clearly that South-South cooperation is something which is really necessary to implement these agendas for climate and sustainable development. Also, we have to notice that many emerging countries are moving to the front line of international climate policy. They are taking the lead in adaptation as well as in mitigation. And in this sense, Morocco submitted last year an ambitious INDC and an engagement which has its institutional roots in the Sustainable Development Strategy. And as you may know, the country is developing a more ambitious contribution, which will be submitted soon, and also an adaptation plan and a greenhouse gas inventory system, among other policy instruments. So one of the countries taking the lead from the developing countries, Morocco is sure one of them, and others, of course. But South-South cooperation needs to develop some mechanisms, because traditionally we are used with the North-South cooperation, and there are mechanisms for that, and the tools and approaches are developed. But we have to learn from that to foster and develop South-South cooperation for the climate issue. Because the similarities in terms of socio-economic and technological contexts between the developing countries makes it easier to develop and share adapted solutions to the climate change between southern countries. The fact that North-South cooperation has developed approach and tools for capacity development, for technology, as we have heard from World Bank, and finance transfers calls for ensuring complementarity for South-South cooperation with the existing one, I mean North-South cooperation. In this framework, we have here to notice an interesting initiative that has been launched by Secretary General of the United Nations in April here in New York, which was the Southern Climate Partnership Incubator Initiative. So this initiative has the aim exactly to do with the subject we are talking, how southern countries could help other southern countries. And we found this initiative very interesting. We tried, as you can see in this slide, we tried to categorize some of the existing networks according to their primary focus area. Some are more or less specialized in research and knowledge sharing, as EIE, for example, network, others on facilitation of policy dialogue, and others on capacity development and technical and financial and technological support, of course, like CIC. Now, the triangular cooperation and the link to climate research, the domain of research. The triangular cooperation could provide a valuable platform for the research, for sharing knowledge and results of research. Also, they can provide the investment necessary. It can provide, the triangular cooperation can provide the investment necessary to enhance the development in the south and in the north in order to deal with climate change. Some examples on triangular cooperation. Here I would like to mention the example of SASQUAL, and Mr. Kinana from South Africa is here with us. SASQUAL is a joint initiative of Angola, Botswana, Namibia, South Africa, Zambia, and Germany. It is conceptualized and operationalized to complement the existing research and capacity development infrastructure and research initiatives in the region, with the aim to conduct problem-oriented research in the area of adaptation to climate change and sustainable land management, and provide evidence-based advice for decision makers in the region, as Jorge said in a while. Another initiative is the Asia-Pacific Network for Global Change, APN. This is from Asia. It aims to enable investigation of changes in the Earth life support systems and their implications for sustainable development in the Asia-Pacific region through support for research. So the two initiatives are focusing mostly on research and knowledge. In terms of capacity building, which have been mentioned in the presentation before, I would like to mention here another initiative called Cape Able. It's a core program of the Asia-Pacific Initiative on global change research, which focuses on capacity development agenda. And the aim here is to enhance the capacities of scientists, policymakers, and other relevant stakeholders in the region to identify and assess climate change issues at the local and the regional level. Such networks at regional level and national level could play a key role for the effective and inclusive implementation of Paris Agreement, especially through the empowerment of local and regional authorities and their involvement in climate policy design, but also through aspects of institutional capacity mapping, and also by providing learning opportunities, knowledge sharing, information, and case studies. So there's a lot that such networks can do in terms of Paris Agreement implementation. In terms of negotiation and the link and the role of the networks, these networks provide a space for improvement of quality, effectiveness, and fairness of negotiation process. Among other aspects and among other supports that can be valuable from such networks, we can here mention that such platforms give or provide legal and technical support to inform negotiation positions and related policies. They also strengthen the dialogue and cooperation between partner countries. And there is so many other aspects that could be used for that. And here I bring the example of CDKN, which is oriented towards negotiations. CDKN aims to help leaders and negotiators from LDCs and most vulnerable countries to become informed, skilled, active, networked, and influential actors in international climate change and talks. That this is a platform which is oriented on negotiation aspects. Networks could complement the work of the IPCC, and we have been, Sini was talking about reporting and the role of reporting in the common agenda of next year's. So here also networks could play a key role to come with and to assess the achievements of countries in terms of their commitments. And they can make the link between the scientific aspects, data aspects, knowledge aspects, and policy level that is required for stock taking or other aspects in terms of Paris Agreement implementation. And here we have also another interesting example from Asia. It is the climate policy dialogue, which has been among Japan, China, and Korea. And the objective was to discuss on the 2-degree scenario for Asia and policies and financial mechanisms necessary to achieve it. So this is one of the important aspects, as I said. Non-state initiatives, action agenda, and the climate change networks. For sure, the networks offer a platform that gathers all stakeholders in this sense by bringing diversity of actors that focus on global rather than national policy objectives. It leads to greater involvement of non-state actors and local government, and this can enhance the problem-resolving capacity of local government. Here we have the good example of GCAA Cannes network, which emerged in 1989 and had taken interesting actions. To finish, I will speak on 4C, Maroc, a multi-stakeholder platform that tries to capture the complexity of the landscape of actors and the necessity to work together and to make bridges between policy, research, with the involvement of other stakeholders that are dealing with our action agenda. So the 4C is developing this approach, and in this framework is reaching to other centers from Latin America and other centers interested by this initiative. Just to give a few aspects for 4C missions and action. The objective is to strengthen capacities. This is the first mission. The other mission is to capitalize information, knowledge, and know-how. Also, to develop tools and facilitate decision-making on climate change. And last, to contribute to international efforts. And this is to do with negotiation aspects. We already started to develop partnerships, concrete actions and partnerships with, notably with CTCN on technology aspects, and we are running some workshops in the coming months, and also with FAO for land use and ecosystems aspects, and also with Islamic Bank and LED's global partnership. That's what I wanted to say, and thank you very much for your attention.